Let's get some more analysis now from Robert Manning, who is a senior fellow with the Scowcroft Center for Strategy and Security at the Atlantic Council. He joins us now live from Washington, D.C. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us here on TRT World today. Now, a couple of months ago,
My
Biden
pleasure.
was asked about whether or not the U.S. would intervene militarily in defending Taiwan, and he answered yes. Are we seeing a change in Biden's stance? Would the U.S. intervene militarily?
Well, President Biden has a kind of foot and mouth problem, and uh, this is a problem because the U.S. keeps saying we're standing by our three communiques in the Taiwan Relations Act and we're not changing policy, and then Biden on numerous occasions says the opposite. And at the same time, if you look at our engagement with Taiwan over the past 5 years or so, we keep escalating the levels of contact, military training, and so on. And so the Chinese are watching this, and they're focusing on what we're doing, not what we're saying. And they're concerned that we're kind of walking away from these three communiques that are really the basis of the entire relationship. So I think we're in a very toxic, dangerous situation, and a Nancy Pelosi visit could be the spark that starts the fire.
What do you think will happen if the U.S. decides to go through with the Pelosi visit? What would China's response look like?
Well, you have to understand how it looks to Xi Jinping. He's got a National Party Congress coming up where he's trying to be anointed as president for life, and they have to pick new members of the Politburo and so on. And so he has to look tough. So we're kind of throwing a pie in his face, and of course he has to react. So if the trip happens, and it's not certain that it will, um, I think you will see some kind of Chinese aggressive response, whether it's flying more planes, uh, or doing something that demonstrates their resolve.
Hmm.
And that could get out of control depending on what it is.
We're also aware that Xi and Biden also discussed the war in Ukraine. What's China's position on that matter, given its economic relationship, especially with Russia?
Well, the problem is how the Chinese have taken what I would call a kind of pro-Russian neutrality, and the United States, I think, has underappreciated what China has done, which is they have not helped them militarily. They have not uh, taken economic actions that would violate the sanctions. And even though they've done that, because they've been mouthing and repeating Putin disinformation, the US has been very negative about China rather than trying to encourage them, because I think at the end of the day, China can play an important mediating role in trying to bring this. Uh, we're not there yet, but at some point we will have to have a negotiation. And there's a
Mhm.
number of countries like China, Turkey, and Israel that can play an important mediating role.
Right. Okay, Robert Manning, thank you so much for joining us here on TRT World and sharing that analysis with us.